How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today I want to talk to you about why the US needs to buy Bitcoin and why some countries are shooting themselves in the foot right now. Now, this could be bad for the crypto industry, what's happening right now, and it could stifle innovation. Now, I don't necessarily think that's going to push down the price of crypto. I just think it's unfortunate for some users of crypto now. If you guys don't mind, hitting the like button and subscribe button, I appreciate that. There will be timestamps underneath the video. I do want to talk to you about a new crypto project in this video, a new partner of the channel. So I would highly suggest staying around, but you can flip through to different chapters in case you are interested. Now, the overall crypto market is down a little bit, about 1%, but we are much better than we were a week ago. We're at $2.08 trillion. It's been a while that we were under $2 trillion. Now, a lot of cryptos are up 6, 10, 20, 30% on the last 1 week. So crypto's looking a little bit better. Now we do have a large amount of sells set at $45,000 for Bitcoin. A lot of whales getting ready to sell because we've been rejected so many times at that level. One specifically bought around 34,000 and has a big sell wall at 45,000. Now, I will say Terra continues to buy millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin every single week right now. Like, they've bought 3 or 4 tranches of 125 million. So we could break right through that wall. So just pay attention to that. And I actually did a full video on Terra yesterday, or most of a video on Terra yesterday. If you didn't see that, I'll put it on the end screen. But one analyst here on YouTube says that Terra could get up to $80,000 and breaks down the math how it could happen. So if you want to see my video yesterday on that, I'll put it on the end screen. Now we do have some good news. This is the Bitcoin held by entities with the balance between 0.001 and 0.01. You can see this exponential increase. Now, we were sideways for a while, like a year here, back in 2020, held by these entities. And now it's kind of growing exponentially. Now, this probably doesn't change the price too much because this is still not a very significant amount of Bitcoin overall. I mean, we're talking about going from 22,000 individuals to 35,000 individuals or so. But you can see that they're holding about twice as much, and this is probably a mixture, obviously, of people that maybe had $45 worth of Bitcoin. Now they have $300 worth of Bitcoin. But it's also some people that have never held Bitcoin before and are starting to get used to it. Maybe it's more wallets coming online and spreading out wealth a little bit more. But I would think that it's a lot of new individuals coming into the space. And this is important for the fact that we do have a massive wealth transfer that's coming over the next 20 years from the baby boomers down to the younger generations. And they're going to be putting that in crypto. So as more and more people get in, even if they have a small amount, they most likely will funnel some of that inheritance money to crypto. So just something interesting, some good fundamental analysis, or some good on-chain data, I should say, for Bitcoin. We also have some whales coming back. This is the number of entities with balance over 1,000 Bitcoin. Now you can see it's gone up about 30 or 40 entities have started to buy back and are over 1,000 Bitcoin. Nowhere close to where we were back here, but still nice to see some whales feeling a little bit stronger about Bitcoin. So before we go any further, I want to talk to you about a very cool crypto. Now, before we get into what the crypto is, just know that they are actually followed by Solana and Crypto Differ, Stand With Ukraine. So 2 really well-known accounts over on Twitter. So that gives you some indication that this isn't like a lot of the other cryptos that are coming up these days. So we're talking about Human Protocol. So Human Protocol is a permissionless protocol to facilitate the exchange of human work, knowledge, and contribution. So their mission is to help people and projects collaborate to solve problems with a broadly applicable mechanism to post tasks, validate the quality of contributions, and remunerate contributors. So one of their main products is Proof of Humanity. This is to help prevent front running and sniping from, let's say, new NFT auctions to new token drops. And this is really built into dApps and exchanges. The app is also great for people that want to participate in AI development and also earn crypto along the way. The team has also told me that they are working with Chainlink, which is something interesting also. So this is a really cool project. You can check it out. They have the token HMT. If you're looking to actually buy it, they're actually available on a lot of different exchanges from FTX, Gate.io, Bitfinex, and they also just have their Twitter if you want to go follow them and figure out more about them. They also have articles like on Cointelegraph where they do question and answers. So definitely check out the links underneath the video that I will provide you. They are a partner of the channel, and I really do think that they are an interesting project. Now comes the bad news. So Coinbase to track off-platform crypto transactions and transfers in Canada, Singapore, and Japan. So this is according to local jurisdictions and the laws that they're implementing. They will start having to provide additional information while sending cryptocurrencies to a non-Coinbase platform. So in Singapore and Japan, anytime they send any amount to any other wallet that's outside of Coinbase, they're going to have to provide information. In Canada, if they send over $801 or 1,000 CAD, they're going to be, when they send over that, they will have to send this information as well. If they send under it, then they don't have to send this information. This includes recipient's name, address, house number, street number, town, postal code, country. A lot of personal information, especially in crypto when people don't want to provide that. Also, you're going to have to provide your own information when transferring funds between your own crypto wallets. Now, I understand why they're doing this. I understand why Coinbase is doing this, because they have to. This is the cost of doing business. Now, I understand why the countries are doing this slightly, because they want to make sure that no funny business is happening. Maybe they want to stifle innovation on purpose. Maybe it's just that they want to make sure that there's no money laundering. Maybe it's that they want to make sure that people are paying taxes. So I think that they have to be careful, because when new laws like this come up, people just won't use crypto. It'll make it a lot harder for people to use crypto. And people just won't want to do it. They don't want to give all this information. They don't want to go get all this information. And some people will, because it's still easier to send crypto across the country and get this information from, let's say, a family member, than it is to send cash across the country or a cashier's check or something like that. But it still slows everything down. No one wants to do this. And people will just turn to other wallets. I see this as being bad for some of the centralized exchanges, and it's going against a lot of what crypto is, which is that it's supposed to be decentralized. And I think people will just use something like Trust Wallet or something that isn't tied to a centralized entity. Now, I could understand also, I don't know the laws in Canada about how much you can bring in cash into banks, but here in the US, you can bring up to $10,000. If you bring in $10,000 in one penny in cash here in the US, you have to fill out a form where they actually ask you questions to make sure that you're not money laundering. Now, I could understand if that was just congruent and it was just the same thing, right? Where if it's over $10,000, then you have to fill out these forms. Now, luckily in the US, we're not doing this right now, but they are questioning crypto a good amount themselves. You can see that the US Senate now has a bill to examine El Salvador's Bitcoin experiment. So they said that this is important, that they make sure that they mitigate potential risks to the US financial system and that they understand what could happen. They said that they would require the state and treasury departments to mitigate risks such as potential empowerment of China and organize criminal organizations. Now, the second part of that seems a little bit like the old language where people were really worried about Bitcoin just helping people money launder all the time and do criminal activities. That doesn't seem like it's that big a deal anymore. I think it's been shown that it's very trackable, so it doesn't make sense for a lot of criminals, and a lot of criminals think that it does make sense because it's super easy. You can just get in your wallet, but then it can be tracked for years. So I think that the bigger point here is that certain countries, if they adopt or buy, they could gain a lot of wealth. They could control a good amount of cryptocurrency. Now, I think the real thing that we need to pay attention to here, or the thing that the US should do, is they should just buy Bitcoin. And they should probably do it quietly. If they do it loudly, they say that they're going to start buying Bitcoin, it will kind of undermine the US dollar in a lot of people's minds. But if they do it quietly, they will control more of the crypto market. Also, they can print their way to owning more Bitcoin. I mean, think about that. There's 2.6 million Bitcoin left on exchanges. So at today's price, that's $100 billion worth. Obviously, if they tried to buy all of it, it would skyrocket in price. You can't do that, but you start buying smaller amounts, all right? You could easily do that over time and get a significant amount of money if you are the one that is printing the money yourself. We already have 9% or 8% inflation. What's another $100 billion? Could be quiet, right? So they could just print it, buy Bitcoin, or just take it from some of the different places it's at now, take some of the cash, funnel it into Bitcoin quietly, a couple $1 billion here or there. It would send up the price of Bitcoin, but they could control a decent amount before other countries start controlling it. Just something to pay attention to. It would be really interesting. I think they probably already have some Bitcoin, right? They already took about $100,000 from that scam a couple months ago, or 100,000 Bitcoin. So they could just hold on to that. Maybe they add to it. Just something to think about. It's interesting game theory. And then we did have some positive news on this recently. Not everyone is negative in America about crypto. And I think a lot of politicians are starting to come around to it. There are a lot of wealthy individuals. There are a lot of people that like Bitcoin. So Janet Yellen said, we want to create a regulatory environment in which healthy innovation can continue. She's been pretty negative about crypto. So her turning this way, I think, is positive. And then some countries are embracing it pretty heavily. Ukraine launches NFT Museum of War on Ethereum and Polygon. This just came out today. And we also have them accepting donations in crypto. So this can be used for good, not necessarily for bad. A lot of people still don't understand that. But let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for hitting the like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.